I'm excited. This is such a fun topic. This is like the news, except we're the only ones reporting on it. So we're
I
like,
know.
we're the
The
network,
elites.
baby. Hey, wait, hang on really quick. I have to go get a straw, but the cat is like so sleeping on my lap. So I'm going to
Oh,
disturb
you're
his
stuck
life here,
now.
but
You're stuck. You can't
no, he'll
disturb
come
him.
back if he really loves me. Hang on.
He runs for his life. I'm just kidding. Chilling in the icebox. We got a lot to say. Chilling in the icebox. I'm in a new room today.
The
You guys
padded
miss my
room.
you miss the coat rack and the treadmill, whatever else is going on behind me.
Yep,
But
she's
we
in
are
solitary
here
confinement today.
for my own good.
And everybody else, like the good of society.
Yeah.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so we're back
Hey yo. First
and we do
podcast
have a
in
lot.
February
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dude, February.
already. I can't believe it.
It's like time goes by so slow and then
So
so
fast.
fast.
I
Like,
know.
how is it February? It was
I
just
know.
January 1st. Like, it was just the new year. And I was like, wow, this year's going to pop off and it already is. I feel like
Yeah.
January was so good. That's why it flew by and it's just going to get better. I know it.
Yep.
Okay.
You know
So
your
10
10
6.
sex? Yeah. Let's do it.
Um, I have like a little question 10 6.
I love that.
And you could put your input, but I'm pretty sure I already know what you're going to say because I kind of asked you the other day. But I want the people, so I know you made it this far. So y'all better comment below. Um, okay, if I had to get one piece of equipment for my gym, what should I get?
Yeah.
I'll give you my top three.
Okay.
Another bike,
Veto.
another echo bike, the erg bike.
Oh, oh, that's not the same kind of bikes. That's a brand new type of bike. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's a new bike, not another bike.
yeah.
That
So
I'm back
no,
in.
no, the echo bike is the one that I already have.
Yeah,
So
not that
should I
one.
get another one of those?
No,
Okay,
no.
okay, okay, okay.
The bike erg.
The bike erg, yeah. Um, or I guess I have four. The air, what is it? The air runner.
Oh, that's a good one because you're in the snow.
I know. That's the only reason why I want it. And then the maybe is like another rower. I just think it's cool to have like
Mm,
multiple so you don't have to
yeah,
change workouts when I have like two people
yeah.
and they could do the same thing and like really compete against each other.
Well, it's okay. Tough.
That's
That's
my
it's really tough. There's a lot of factors you need to consider there.
also I sort of kind of maybe just a little tiny bit want a GHD too.
I 100% you should get a GHD. I don't that's like an extra. That's like a GHD
Yeah.
and what, you know?
Yeah, like a necessity.
Yeah, a GHD and another bike.
Yeah. Yeah. But if I had to pick, like if a gun was held to my head and they're like, pick one, and I would pick oh man, I'd pick the assault runner.
Wow.
Is that what it's called? Air runner? But that's like because a gun is held to my head. But like financially, because they're expensive. Like,
I know.
so that's the only reason why. So like if I was making like a logical financial decision, I'd probably pick the bike erg
Yeah.
only because it's like significantly less, but it's still more than like an echo bike, which is really weird to me because I feel like the echo bike is more.
No, I feel like the Echo bike is like less machinery in a way. Like it's just a big fan and like a
That's true.
trike,
Yeah.
like it's like a big wheel at Walmart.
So I've never been on a bike erg, but is the bike erg like a Peloton?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. So
I've never been
it's
on a
like this.
Peloton, but I'm pretty sure it's about the same.
Me either.
It's like a stationary bike like
Yeah.
setup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so if you guys have comments on what I
Okay, well,
should
let me
get,
make a case because I could see the bike erg or the air runner are like kind of in the same category of things that like that fills a gap for you personally. Obviously, you can use it for your clients too, but like um sometimes in life you want like less impact than others, right? And so
yeah.
like the bike erg would be a really good cardio option that like I just remember being able to like get on it and like you could just do something for 40 minutes. You can kind of push hard, but it's also like you're not moving around a ton. So like
You're not like this.
yeah, you can like focus on engaging good muscles and like maintaining good posture and breathing. And you can also do all that pushing hard and like watching a movie or like watching a show or like doing something like kind of stationary where I feel like running, it's hard to like do something like that, right? But
Yeah.
the air runner also fills a gap for you in the times in your life when you do want all the impact and maybe it's also snowing outside and then maybe having an option where you can really run and push that without worrying about the weather. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I have a
You
treadmill.
do have a treadmill. Yeah, you do have a treadmill.
So, but like, I just feel like I've been on one. I've been on
Yeah.
the runner, and I feel like it's very similar. Like a treadmill is for me, a treadmill is more so just like a cardio type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, whereas like the runner, I could like resistance and like make it like I'm pushing a sled or like
Yeah.
do not just like a cardio thing. And it was more of running, like it felt a lot like running outside
Yeah.
opposed to like a treadmill.
Yeah.
Or like
I
I have to keep it going, not like
yeah.
the belt is going
When
on
I
the
was
tread.
like at Lifetime for like 2 seconds before COVID, I used to run on their runner a lot and I thought it was cool. And you can like
Yeah.
set it up in front of the window and it's just like kind of vibes.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
So
So
I
that's
don't know.
my 10 secs, but
Okay. Also, I'm going to submit a heavy kettlebell for consideration.
yeah. Okay, that's again the
That's what the
GHD
GHD, right?
heavy kettlebell. Those all go together. Case made.
Okay.
We don't even need to add
Okay.
that to the 10 secs, but okay. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
10 secs is that we had another delivery today. So I'm gonna do a little teaser. Ayo. Icebox journals. They're
Oh my
here.
God. Are they sick? I
So
can't believe you held out.
yeah. Oh
Wow.
yeah. I wasn't even gonna open it, should I? Out of the plastic?
Yeah.
I should?
Can you put it back in the plastic?
No, it's like sealed,
Oh.
but I'm sure it's sick in
Well,
there.
I got 2 extra ones for me and you.
Okay, well, I mean, I can open it if you want, but I'll wait. But it's sick, and
Okay.
they're here, and we have been getting a lot of cool merch
Oh,
deliveries lately. Just saying. So
wow. That looks sick from here. And it's hard, right? It's hard, like
hardcover,
yeah.
yep. So
Looks
good for
sick to
logging
me.
your lifts, good for logging your thoughts,
Good
good for
for
writing about your enemies.
yeah, I was gonna say for people you want to diss with a burn book. Good
Slam
for
poetry.
it's a good burn book.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Speaking of enemies, not really enemies, but
Well,
the topic of today's podcast is so exciting. We are reporting fresh news off the presses, people. So
hot off the press.
hot off the presses, something, how do we even say it? Something just really big goings on at ICEBOX North up in Parowan. Business, business is not for the weak hearted. And that's really the lesson of this whole thing. But let's just have Laura, why don't you tell us a little bit of like just like the overall situation, what like happened and how you got to where you were on Wednesday at like 5:55 p.m.
Okay, well, I was really cool and awesome. I'm just kidding. But that's
It
kind of
was
part of
May
it.
15th or 16th.
I
What?
was I was almost time for my birthday. And I was um for me to grace this world with my wonderful presence.
Teresa
But
in labor.
she says I was the easiest one, so
Oh,
but I guess long story short, I was trying to be legit and be a good citizen of the community and hold an actual business license in my town. Um, because I wanted to make a name. I wanted to be, small town. I wanted to be like just legit and do things the right way and, as we all should. Um, so long story short, I applied for a business license. Uh, it gets some um I don't know, what do you call them? Like
objections.
complaints. yeah,
So the
objections
way it
because
works in Parowan is when Laura submitted for the business license, they sent a letter to everybody within 300 feet, right? Is that what it was?
mhm,
Of the
mhm.
property, saying essentially that there's going to be a business here. Like, if you have any objections, like reply to this letter and let us know. And out of 18 people, 2 people had some objections
They
that they
sure
wanted
did.
addressed. So
So we ended up going to a planning and zoning meeting. Basically, what the planning and zoning meeting is to kind of square up any or take care of any, like address any of these objections before they could officially grant me my business license. Um, and okay, to be clear, it is a business out of my home. So I have a facility in my home, my gym, that I operate business out of. The complaints came from two neighbors. One neighbor that is not they're not even touching my property, so they're like on another street. And then the other neighbor, their backyard backs up into my backyard, so like their backyard, my backyard. Um, and they both wrote in complaints. To stay positive, there was 7 people that either were neutral, had no complaints, or sent like well wishes, which is really cool, I think. I mean,
totally.
I was at first I was like really caught up on like the fact that these 2 people had these complaints, and I had to take a step back and be like, wow, there's 7 people that didn't complain.
Yeah. Yeah.
and and out of those 7 people, there are some that had some positive things to say, and like and that was really cool because
Totally.
I'm new to the community, I'm an outsider essentially, like, so it's just kind of scary, like stepping into like a new
Right.
environment.
Yeah.
And it is very like off-putting because I'm like, I'm just trying to do things the right way, like
Yeah.
people.
Okay, so hang on. So what happened is Laura was then summoned to this zoning meeting so that they could like hear the case or whatever and then decide how to move forward, because up until this point the business license is blocked until we get past these objections. So they
Hmm.
have to like make a ruling on like what's fair, and then she can go forward and get her business license and do her thing. So Laura had to go to this meeting on Wednesday night. What it was is just like, I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a town hall type vibe, but it's pretty much like a panel, like in a like small courtroom type setting with like a mediator, essentially the guy who kind of kept everybody going. I think he was in the middle. He had a couple, homies on each side, elected officials, I would assume,
Hmm.
something in the town. And it seems to me I want after I'm going to have you before we start any of these videos, because what we're going to do is we're going to play live stream footage from this hearing, you people, and we are going to dissect it and we're going to like go through it. And the process is really legit interesting. So I was like riveted watching this 2.5 hour video. Don't worry, this is not going to be 2.5 hours, but I was riveted the whole time.
I was actually, well, we'll get into that later,
But
but
anyway,
okay.
so like it was this setting, whatever. To me, it kind of seemed like most of these people probably had like jobs and lives in the city. And then every, first Monday of the month, they come after work or whatever and like settle whatever issues have come up since the last meeting in regards to how the town is going to move forward. I know like one of the council members. Is that like about true from what you know?
Yeah, so they'll handle anything. Like if somebody wants to build anything, you have to get
Yeah.
it like approved. And so they usually handle anything like that before it happens. And then they
Right.
approve, they vote on it. And the whole process, I had never been to anything like
Yeah.
this. Have you?
I can't remember ever attending a, a hearing like that.
Yeah. So I had never, so for me, it was like really nerve wracking.
Yeah.
It wasn't like just going in front of a bunch of people and talking about what I do, which I could do all day, every day. It was like a legit thing. There's a lawyer there. There's somebody like taking
Yeah.
minutes. Like
Yeah.
it is like, I mean, I was like, okay, was not prepared for that. Um, but yeah, and from what I understand, it's like they're pretty boring meetings unless it involves you,
Right.
like, and um, and I don't know if every town is like that. Like if
Well, let's get to that because I have lots to say about
yeah.
that, but I don't want to get into it before like we get there. If I don't want to give
Mhm.
anything away in a video because I think it's more fun to watch them if you like don't know
Okay.
anything. But um, what was your like assessment of the people on the panel? I just want to get into that before we watch
Um,
any footage.
so like you said, I did know one of them. She's actually my client. And so that was like kind of like, okay, she told me kind of like what to expect and like kind of prepared me in that way, like, okay, this is
Right,
how the meeting goes and whatever. So I knew her. And I also know that she is not afraid to speak up. So I was like, that's great because that'll work
right,
towards my benefit. I didn't really know anybody else except I knew of one lady who was like the other lady on the panel. So I had no idea like how, like how
yeah,
their attitudes are or like,
yeah,
what they believe in. Like
yeah,
I was like kind of going in blind. Um, but I spent a lot of time talking with the city manager who ends up leaving before mine
mm,
actually starts. And I spent a lot of time talking to him and I feel like what they had prepared me for was not what I was prepared for.
how so?
Because they made it sound like it was like really casual and it was not as like intense as I'm making it sound, but it got started off like so explosive, like just like right into it that
Yeah,
I was like, in my opinion, I thought they were going to give me a second to like, get up there and like say and like announce and like brief them on my business where it was like, we're just going to jump right into these complaints and here we go.
yeah.
And I was like, that to me, you're already starting off on a bad foot. Like, let me get up there and say what my business is and what I'm doing, and then jump into the complaints. And now let these people form a whole opinion of it instead of here's all the negative, and now she's going to try to get up and defend.
Um, yeah, and I do think that in like real court, doesn't the well, actually, no, I think the plaintiff does go first. So I think that that's actually how it works. And also I will say that I think kind of like what you said, like I think it felt so much more intense because of how much you care.
Yeah,
But it was like, but I don't think they would not have given you a chance to speak. I just
yeah,
think that they were I don't know if that was I think it was just intensified, like because what you said, like your whole heart
yeah,
is in this, like this is everything to you. Um, and so that makes it really emotional. And that's one of the things that business teaches us not to be is like
yeah.
really
And
emotional in those situations.
I was really trying to separate that
Yeah.
because you're like, this is an attack on like everything I believe in. Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? Like, oh my gosh, like, and I think I'm a pretty like I could like reason, I could see both sides. And so like I was prepared for their complaints because they had told me the complaints before we had gone in. So I was prepared on that aspect. Um, but what I was like like when I say that they didn't like let me like they kind of just like jumped into all the complaints first, if it just felt like had I not even got up and said anything, they probably would have just continued on until they had a question.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. I think that they would have heard out both the complaints and then that you would have gone up and you didn't wait. And that's fine. And that's another thing that I think business teaches us is to like, don't sit back and wait for what you want. Like if you have to go and get it and you had something to say and you went up and said it and whether or not you were going to have a chance later doesn't matter because you took your chance when you wanted it and that's a good thing too. But I also have to say like they would have given
You
you a
feel
chance to talk, dude. Like they
I like when I yeah, they absolutely would have given me a chance, but I don't know if they would have given me like I don't know if they would have been like cut like I think they would have been like come up and address these issues. Whereas I want them to see it as a whole. Like I don't want them to see like here I'm defending myself. Like I want you to see everything
yeah.
and
And
not
you could
just
have
like
painted that picture though. Like
me
you
on
could
the
still paint that
defense.
picture when they, called you up. But whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, like it happened the way it happened. And I think the way it happened is like amazing. And the fact that you had so many people there on your side was also so cool.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into that. That's like the first video I have. Is we're gonna get into some videos, but I just want to say I didn't start recording stuff when I was watching it until after the like complaints were like they already spoke. Um, So, but I mean, you pretty much said, it was just like the neighbor on the one side and the person across the street. But could you just summarize like what the complaints
Yes.
were specifically? Or like
My
how, like what, or I could go and find that part of the video. We could just like edit like real
No,
quick, like stitch it
no,
out.
I could just run through it because it is kind of long. Okay. To sum it up, the complaint was that one, it's going to drive traffic to the street into my house, into neighbors and whatever. It's going to increase the traffic on this road and to the surrounding neighborhood. The other one was this could, it wasn't even like it has happened. This could cause, and by increased traffic, that was also this could happen, could cause traffic. This could cause loud music and lots of noise. Um, and then the other one was the people walking through my yard is going to disrupt the neighbor's yard somehow.
Yeah.
And the, I guess the main lady's complaint was that she has commercial space, and so I should not have a commercial type of business in a residential area, and I should get rent her commercial space because she has. And there's like a lot of like little minor details in there that I'm sure we'll get into, but she said that it's a commercial style gym, so I should be in a commercial space and rent from her
Yeah.
commercial space.
Right.
Yeah.
People looking out for themselves.
Yep. And also, like, to me, it was all like, this could happen. This could happen. This could
Yeah.
be a problem. This
Yeah.
could, yeah, but it isn't a problem yet. So why are we even discussing things that haven't even happened yet?
Because that's business and that's what's so cool. And the fact that what you're doing is influencing the way the city is going to go about handling other gyms in people's homes and like businesses like that because you're already making such a fucking dent. That's why. That's why it's like fucking cool. Like that's the other, to me anyway. Okay, so let's get into this first video. Um, let me see. Screen share. I'm not usually the one sharing my screen. Okay, there we go. Uh,
Oh, and to be fair, I haven't seen these videos yet, so I
oh
don't know what
yeah,
she's sharing.
that's true.
This is a first look.
It is. Okay, let's see if that works. Can you see my
Yes. Hmm.
okay, let's go here. I wonder how I hope I don't have any bad tabs open.
Brazzers.
And we're back from the editing room. Okay, so all the complaints have been, or at least one of them I think has been voiced at this point. And I started recording here because this is my favorite clip of all clips. And I'm obsessed with everything that's about to happen right here. And this was cool ass part number one of this meeting. Okay.
Trustee Collins, and I'm a client of Miss Flora over here. I do not go to a gym because I do not like being watched while I work. So when I go to her place, it's a very comfortable place where I feel comfortable working. I have an injury on my back, so I have trouble working out as it is anyway. But being with her, I've lost 30 pounds. Not only that, I have strengthened my lower back to where I can actually function. I can walk around, and I don't have the problems that I was having before. If I was to go to a gym, I'd be very uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I don't like men staring at me, women, anybody. And so being there, it's very quiet. It's just you, it's her, and you work on the issues that you have, and you don't have to worry about Mr. Joe over here doing whatever he's doing, and this person over here. Oh baby, I get.
He was funny to me. Okay. So let's just talk about this clip real quick because I was so emo when I saw this. I can't even imagine how you were feeling in that moment. Like so cool. It's like you talk about a client testimonial, and this is legit a testimony. She is walking up to a podium
Yeah.
and giving her testimony, and to have her like state all of those incredible things that her life is so much better. Wow.
I literally was like teary
Yeah.
crying in that moment. Like I just, because nobody, it wasn't like call this witness to the stand. It was like kind of everybody got up on their own
Yep.
if they wanted to. Like people just came to support. People came and like got up and spoke. So I didn't know she was gonna like
Yeah.
say any of that. And she just got up and like I like that alone, I was like, all right, I'm done, dude.
Yeah.
Don't give me my business license. This chick's life has changed. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. But like it was so cool. And it was just like, I'm doing something right. Like I know
Yes.
I'm doing
What
something
an
right.
impactful statement. Like, and she just went up there and like, she just said it so clearly and like all these incredible things that are better. And like, I do feel like everybody on the panel was like, okay, yeah, like even the one
Yeah.
guy, oh baby, he's like, no, I get it. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so like that's cool. And it was just like, yeah, so that struck me when I was watching this, where I was like, oh my God, this is going on the Instagram. So then I started recording clips. And so then I started recording everything I thought was like an interesting moment as we like went forward. Okay. So
Yeah.
I want to know what you think of the like main guy. What was your take on him?
Um, I so I feel like he I feel like he was pretty neutral. Like he tried to be pretty neutral, but there were a couple of times where I was like, I have 3 clients that have home businesses,
Yeah.
and you're not giving me the same treatment that you gave them.
Yeah.
Um, and I know that because they've told me the process that they had to go through and the things that they've had to do. Um,
Which is like, what are those?
so well, like later on down the road, we'll get into like the like contingencies that they put
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Um, but like stuff like that, like they didn't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
They didn't have to have their place inspected. They didn't have to like as long as their house is, good to go, you can function in your house. Like they didn't have to have any of that. So to me, it was like he says, oh, we're supposed to treat this like a case by case, but also like you can't discriminate against my business either. Like just
Yeah.
because there are complaints, yes, but you cannot put certain stipulations and rules on my business because they
Right.
there are these such complaints or whatever.
Right. Right.
um I also felt like maybe you have a video of it or you don't, but when one of my clients, Cade, got up and spoke, I felt like Cade was hammering it to him, and I felt like he just did not like that. Like he was
Yeah.
like, and that also kind of bothered me too, like almost like he was not prepared for somebody to have done research and
Yeah.
have laws and have codes and or ordinances and other things looked up and brought to his attention. And so he kind of got defensive when Cade
I don't
would
know
like
if I have a video of Cade, but I do remember like I feel like it's so good to have somebody like Cade who probably was like right there, like live Googling, like or like searching through stuff to like see exactly what the words they're saying. If there's a question, like there's an ordinance brought up, like he's gonna get it looked up quicker than any of them are gonna be able to like remember it if they even knew it. Like,
yeah,
and so he can pull it up right away and like try to spin it. And that's so helpful to have somebody like that on your side who's like just super on it, like
yeah.
just
And
just with the facts.
and God bless Cade, because seriously, I didn't ask. He said he was going to come, and I'm so grateful he did because he is so smart. That guy is just smart, and he's fast, and he's on it. Um, but it was so much and so overwhelming, like for me, and for me to pull out my phone and try to look up stuff and
No,
try to
well, it could be
hear,
you. No, not you.
yeah,
Yeah.
and try to hear what they're saying at the same time. I
Yeah.
was
No,
like, oh my gosh, like I
no, you
can't do
know, you need
both.
somebody
Like,
on your team doing that. Yes.
yeah,
So
and
so good that it was Cade.
yeah, and he before he the day before he had told me, he was like, I'm gonna look up some ordinances and some like city codes and whatever, like regulations, whatever. And he was on the zoning and planning in Bryan Head, so he had kind of an idea of how these
Good.
things work. So I was so happy he came, and yeah, God bless
Yeah.
Kate.
What an asset. Yeah.
But I do feel like the main guy, Larry, he was very defensive when Cade was like, no, this code or this state law says blah, 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 blah. And like he would get like a little annoyed.
Yeah.
I guess that, oh, well, somebody did the research, like, how does he know this and I don't? Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of,
Yeah.
almost like I'm supposed to know
I
it
don't know.
all.
I hope I have a video of like that stuff. I don't know if I do, but okay, let's go on to the next one. Um, I'm gonna do right this.
Only room for 2 vehicles there. Easy in the driveway. I am Sarah Lanier. I am a client too. I just wanted to speak on your, like, as far as the concern of, I know you're saying the number of people, but it's more or less like the cars. What if she cut down how, like, if people carpool there?
Oh, God bless you. Then what about the noise? You guys get in there and scream and yell and turn on the music, turn on rock and roll. And
I fucking died when he said that. Turn on rock and roll.
I like when he was all,
It's not CrossFit. I died when she said that too. I was like, yes,
I'm
preach.
the same way. I'm in her, like, I am very self-conscious of myself and going to her and sorry, you know. I've always no, but I don't because
Okay, what is that? What are they keep referring to, like, is there another person with a gym in this room that like
yes. Okay.
wants
So
their business and they don't go?
yes.
They're all here fighting for you.
Yes. So the mayor owns the gym on Main Street, which is like
Oh,
the like global gym. It's like it's not as big as like an EOS or like a, but it's like that. It's like 24 hours. You get a little
okay.
scan thing. You could go in. But there's no like, there's not
Yeah.
a person like,
No.
helping
Okay.
you with your injuries or whatever.
Yeah.
So she's actually there. The mayor's there. She's in the corner. She's the
Okay.
front row in the right.
Yeah. Right
Yeah,
here.
yep. That's
Okay.
her.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's that.
well, no, there's yeah.
and I can see the need. I can see the want.
Yeah.
But I can also hear the neighbors.
Oh, I understand that.
If my neighbor were to do that and wake me up at whatever 8 a.m. or I would.
8 a.m.
You got to have some regs. It's got to have some
right. But there is a pool and daycare right across the street that's noisy as could be too.
Yeah. Well, we know the pool's been closed for 2 years. And
well, yeah.
The date, and I do understand because my kid.
Here comes Cade. You see him getting
Yeah.
ready down here?
God bless Cade.
For the most part, they're inside the building, but they do have recess on the outside and they can get noisy. Yeah. But anyway, I'm with you.
Thank you. I would just having been on a planning commission myself in another town, I would recommend.
This was a Cade shining moment for me right here when he says this.
Take a larger approach and then mitigate it if there's concern. 2 or 3 people limits her business significantly, and if she ever does want to move into a commercial space, she does need to grow. And so I would honestly recommend being a client myself and having worked out in gyms across the nation and even in other countries in our same format. I know that you could easily fit 6 people. I've also been in her gym and helped test any type of noise from a distance from her building. I've gone in there, lifted heavy weights myself, and from as high as I can, dropped them all the way down on the floor while there's multiple people at different distances outside and you can't hear it. So as a noise complaint, like I said, I think that up to 6 people would be more than safe for you guys to recommend, and it allows her to potentially grow out of the space and hopefully into a commercial development or another space like one of the neighbors is concerned about. Let's benefit the town by having a business that can be established and then hopefully moved into another space.
Yes.
Oh, I wish I didn't stop recording right there because I wish I knew what they said after it. But I did feel like that was a great moment for Cade where it was just like talking about his committee experience, like talking about the town's general overall well-being, talking about the neighbor getting what she wants and you getting what you want. Like all of that is just like textbook negotiating. Like that is how to get everybody what they want. And I'm obsessed with Cade for saying that.
But so this is this is why like businesses hire attorneys or people to
Right.
speak for them, because for like you said, it's an emotional thing for me, because it's like you're attacking something that I love, this little baby that I love so much, you know, like my other baby before Arya, right? And now it's another little baby because I'm starting new in a new place. So for him to just like get it out so easy and like you said, just say highlight all of that, and it's like I probably couldn't have done that because I was so emotionally connected to
Hmm.
this. Like I said, God bless Cade, because
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
he's the best. But I do agree with him. I like it, I would love to I would love to grow and be that much, and, you know, hire at some point other trainers to train under me. Like that would be the goal.
Yeah.
But I can't do that if I'm limited to, you know, so many people or whatever.
Right.
And um it also like it's like this is the space that I could comfortably make work right now for the amount of money that I, you know, can handle.
Hmm.
If you were to go put me up in a commercial space at $2,000 just for rent alone, plus the utilities, plus the, you know, insurance and whatever else, now I would have to get a minimum like 20 members just to cover at $100
Yeah.
a member, just to cover the rent alone.
Right.
And anybody that has been in a gym business knows that these are not guaranteed numbers.
No.
So it is
And
a
not only
constant,
that, if you're gonna need you're gonna need the stamina to train those types of numbers, and that's almost impossible to do without hiring other coaches, and hiring other coaches is almost impossible to do without injuring clients. So like it's this vicious cycle that like
yeah,
it's like if you expand too big and you get the amount of people that would support like growth in that way, then it's tougher to achieve the actual goal. And like it's not impossible, but has not really been that successful so far in what's going on
yeah.
in fitness. So
And also it's kind of a different approach than what we are giving. And
yeah,
I mean you too, because we have the
yeah,
same style and we do the same type of things. And I don't know if you have a video of it, but I said it in there that I keep it small and intimate because it prevents injury, and I could
yeah,
give them that in one-on-one attention and focus on what their needs and wants are. For example, I had a lady today. It was like, I don't want to do any cardio. I just want to lift. Well, you know what? You're paying for what you want, so I'll give it to you. Like,
yeah,
I'll give you my input. Do I think you should probably do a little bit of, you know, cardio? Yeah, but if this is what you want and this is what you're going to pay for, I'll give you what you want. Like,
yeah,
I'm here to please you, but also make sure that you are doing it correctly.
right. To the standard.
So, yeah.
Okay, let's see what I have next.
Oh, it's good.
It's fun, huh? Okay, let me share my screen. So happy I figured this out. Okay.
For everybody, number of clients also is an indication of the number of vehicles that would be present at any one time.
Okay, so this is like the issue that they're like mitigating at the current moment is like traffic, right? Like how many cars are going to be there, where they're going to be on the street, like how many at a time are going to be coming through, blah, 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 which that's where we're at.
That they may be willing to carpool. Well, they might be, but without a mitigation doesn't mean that they would. Yeah. And that three cars? Well, you can limit cars and you can limit clients, or you can, you know, but think about it that way. Okay. I think we're listening to what you're on that. I mean, I truly do. I mean, if you have 6 people and 6 additional cars driving in and out of there, I mean, how is that going to affect the neighborhood? Right. You know, well, negatively, okay. Well, that's what the neighbors are concerned about. Yeah. And strike one. All right, so I'm open, Jerry, for some recommendation. Pick a number, pick something, state your mitigation, and
Jerry.
Okay, well, I guess I'm still puzzled. I mean, I'm hearing anywhere from 1 to 6 clients in one particular session. I mean, I don't know. My number would be lower than 6. That I can tell you. Just that's my gut feeling.
Okay, wait. I want to know if at this moment in the trial or now or before or whenever, if you had like, as they're discussing this, a number that you were hoping that they would settle on or like a conclusion they would come to.
I was definitely not hoping for 2. Here's the thing. I usually don't take more than 2, but I
Yeah.
didn't want to be limited to
Yeah.
2. I also I just didn't want to be limited, and it's like a whole thing, like, in the event that I did want to do like a small breathwork class, I could, because I could have
Yeah.
6 people there, or
Yeah.
I could have, however many people, and it not be a problem. Um, so I was just hoping to not be limited to 2. I think he says 3 at some point in here, and I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, we can make 3 work. Um, but I think at like this point I was like leaning towards 6 and 3
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah. Okay,
Um,
I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this.
Because
This
again,
is one of my favorite parts.
Mrs. Allen's gonna have a cow, and you know what I'm saying, and justifiably. I wouldn't want that to be in my next door either. So, well, that's fine. Again, that's part of the mitigation process, correct? I mean,
Right.
so you guys throw out numbers too, you know?
Well, I mean, I'm a 3 guy. I think 3 clients might talk me into 4.
Okay, but that's it. That's a good number.
2 cars, 4 clients.
Okay, wait. I do think this is so interesting, right? And like from an outside perspective, to me, this is so interesting because the way they do this process of like cars versus clients and like how to choose which one we're going to mitigate and like to me it's like this is real. I do feel like in a lot of ways the panel's trying to be really considerate. Okay, and this is my favorite part. Watch this. 3 cars, 6 people.
Yeah.
Who is that guy? Who is that guy?
I don't know,
Who
but I
said
was
that? Oh
cracking
my
up when
God.
he
But
said that.
I loved how they went back and forth like that. 3, 2 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 6. Like I feel like I was literally getting my life watching this part of the clip because it's just like this is a real debate and there's really people kind of arguing both sides here. And I felt like you had a
Yeah.
lot of representation and a lot of people who wanted to get you the best possible case scenario, like from this panel. Like,
Yeah. And
I
and
don't
like
know
I
who
said,
said
I
3,
don't
6.
yeah, I think it was the guy on the left. But
Funny.
yeah, but I like I said, I don't usually take on that many clients at a time.
Yeah.
Um because I just don't, but I didn't want to be limited. Like I didn't
Right.
want to like you never know. Like you just never I didn't want to limit my possibilities of
Right.
what I could do, or I just didn't. And so it was, yeah. It was tough to sit there and just like watch them go back and forth, like
Yeah. Yeah.
but like as a person, like if I was on the other side of it, I could see why they are going back and forth. I could see
Yeah.
it. Um, but it is frustrating sitting there, like watching them do this.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. So let's keep going. There's like another couple of minutes of this.
Right. Well, it's gonna be.
I'm just like, I don't know. So Mrs. Allen has been a resident there and has lived there for I don't know how many years. And then the other complaint said that they bought their house in 1997. So the pool was totally up and running then. And so there was a lot more traffic then. If the pool is brought back to that new place, which we don't know, I mean, the location was moved, but with everything with the pool, I was on the committee. Now it's a mess. We don't know where the pool is going to be. I mean, is traffic going to go back there again? But if they did that long, why weren't we having complaints about traffic? You know what I mean? They had traffic in that area with the pool established.
What?
Well, you are actually speaking about a city park.
Yeah.
So if you're across the street from a city park, there's expectations. But the neighbors that are complaining on the other side, well, they're not right next to the park. They're close, but they're there. And I think that might be a different
Plus, it's
sort of
growing,
thing.
it's seasonal. There's a lot of differences there.
Mhm.
I understand. It's just there.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an apples and apples discussion.
No, I was just like, wait a second. So no, that's what I
I
want to bring up.
think it's a good
So,
point.
something else that I kind of noticed is that they're not complaining about noise and traffic. They're concerned about trail. And so she's been operating without the permit potentially because she didn't realize she needed it, right? So the surrounding area hasn't complained specifically yet, correct, about, I mean, that's what I'm interpreting from these letters. Yes, they're concerned about it. And so if we're not hearing it at this point, it seems that maybe it's a manageable level. And growing beyond that very well would be too much. Does that make sense?
What are you proposing?
63. 6 clients, 3 cars.
I am not in favor of 6 clients. I think that's beyond the scope of a home occupation. 6 clients per session.
That'd be 30 potentially in a day.
The gym on Main doesn't even get that many people, so
Yeah.
That's too many in a home occupation, in my opinion. I'm sorry.
Nope.
I can't.
That's why we're working through it.
Yeah, at that point, find a retail.
I guess that's where I stopped recording, but okay.
Well, and he's right. At that point, if I had 30 people in a day,
Yeah,
I would need a retail space.
right.
Absolutely. That is a lot of people. But
Yeah.
you're not even giving me the chance to grow to that. And she's right. Like, yeah, I've been operating whatever, training people, working out myself, and it hasn't been a problem yet.
Yeah.
So why are you making it a problem when we're not there?
Yeah. Okay, so I have 2 more videos. Let me just transfer this other one real quick, and then we'll have seen everything and we can talk freely about the whole situation. I'll pull up this next one while that's transferring.
Mr. Cole asked me.
So here comes a neighbor. This is from the opposing side or on behalf of a neighbor. So I'm glad I got at least a little bit of footage of one of the others. Okay, here we go.
He's had back surgery, so he hasn't been up for a while. And
Okay, I took this video specifically so that we could all watch and appreciate Laura's reaction right here in the bottom of the screen
we need to get off with it.
at the back surgery comment.
He's had back surgery, so he hasn't been up for a while.
There she goes. She's had it. That's it. That's it.
That's it, Mike.
I took that. That was specifically because Laura's sitting like this, and then she goes, "He's had back surgery, so he hasn't been up in a while." And Laura's all, "Oh my fucking god!" She's like,
If he would have just seen me, he probably would have.
"Wish I could." I know that you just wanted to storm up to that microphone right then and be like,
I'm off.
"Back surgery."
Now, do you want me to get in a whole speech about back surgery?
Oh my god, that one fucking killed me. Okay, last video that I recorded from the live trial. And this one's another like 3 minutes, so it's a little bit longer.
So number 1 was, is this a home industry?
Okay, so they're going down the list of like all of the complaints that they received, and they're deciding on what their rulings are. So this is like
The end almost, right? Yeah.
So they're going to address all the complaints, and you're going to hear all their solutions. I thought he was funny when he said that.
What did he say? I couldn't hear it.
When he was saying that he was talking about like group sizes for classes or whatever, and like, have they talked about it enough? And he goes, in my opinion, we've beat that one to death.
Yeah.
We spent like 30 minutes talking about it. It was an important one though. I mean, like that's a big one. Okay, here we go.
Okay, number 2. Will this business operate in the house or in the shed? We understand that issue, and I think we have agreed that mitigations will suffice. Number 3, will water and sewer be required for the clients? That will be answered when the health inspections are taken care of. Number 4, how many people a day would access the business and how would they access it? There is a driveway to the back to the shed, which would require patrons either driving or walking past the length of their yard. We have no AC and so on and so on.
I was straight up eating apples off of their property. So good thing I didn't know
Yeah.
about this.
But to be fair, the apples had fallen onto our side. So
I hope they fall over the fence.
Five, would this set a precedent and implied liability for Parowan City if zoning for businesses in residential areas is endorsed? I don't believe so. Christian, where do you think we stand on that?
It provides for home occupations already. It's not a zoning change in any way, shape, or form. So I think you guys are fine.
Thank you.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
So number 6 is, would existing businesses that rent spaces in areas zoned for business then be allowed to relocate to their residential spaces? We don't know the answer to that. That's a case-by-case basis. If somebody closes their business and moves into their home, comes in for home occupation permit, we would address that at that time.
I feel like it would be the same, right? Like same, send out the letters, like same process, right?
Yeah. And they would very likely get lots of complaints.
Located, I mitigated that by limiting the number of vehicles. Number 8, has the city of Parowan been on site to inspect what the impact will be on ourselves and our neighbors?
It's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
That was well under dam, I would assume.
I don't know if Uncle Dan will be on site.
Yeah. So it hasn't happened, but it will be.
Yes. And I think we pretty well analyzed the.
Wow. Why did I stop it right there? Well, anyway, I guess that was like most of the complaints. And so like ultimately they landed on 2 cars, 4 clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the other thing that they decided on was you have to build a wall, Trump wall.
So I think we need the wall. How important is the wall to the Border Patrol people? They said, Mr. Trump, it's absolutely vital.
That's what I thought of.
Yeah. Which is, yeah.
It's a little like it's a little sad like to see like walls go up, I guess, in certain cases, especially when your neighbor really needs you because he has a bad fucking back.
Yeah. And also
Now he has to
like
walk around the wall to get to your gym.
if hours are booked, I'm booked.
Yeah.
Suffer in pain.
Yeah.
But that to me, it was like, if he doesn't like it, then he should put up a wall.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to see people walking through my backyard, then he should put up a wall.
Okay, so the you were saying the other person you knew who has the like home business that never who like told you about, what does she do or he?
So one is a kind of like an esthetician, so she does
Okay.
like stuff out of facials, waxing, whatever, out of her home. The other one runs like a they do like side-by-side tours.
Oh, okay.
So not necessarily like the side-by-sides would go there
Yeah.
too. Yeah. So not foot traffic, but a side-by-side traffic, which
Yeah.
is kind of worse. They're louder and
how many side-by-sides do they have?
a lot.
Wow,
Yeah.
and they take them all out in like big groups.
And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Is it like that thing we did with Kip?
No, because those are like off-road, like
Okay.
fast type of stuff. This is
This is-
more like going through like the mountain and
Okay.
like you can't go fast because you don't know what's behind the turn because it's like all,
Okay.
like a mountain, but yeah.
That's cool. Okay, and so that's a side-by-side tours and an esthetician.
And then the other one is a what do you call salon
Haircut?
or like a yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like esthetician. That's like kind of the
Yeah.
same. Okay, so they make their ruling, 2 cars, 4 clients, you have to put your fence up
It's a vital tool. It's an important tool.
and you have to get like the health inspector or whatever to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the meeting ends.
Yeah.
And then what do you do?
I go
How did
home
you
and
like, how did you feel?
sleep
What was your
because,
like,
I'm annoyed. I am very annoyed. I am mad. The main thing is like, you're not treating me like you treated these other businesses. And maybe these other businesses didn't get complaints, but I guarantee you guys didn't bat an eye at a salon going in to somebody's home. You didn't bat an eye at somebody wanting to be an esthetician out of their home. Like you didn't even, there was no like question to their
yeah,
business. You didn't
yeah,
even go out and inspect their business. You didn't even go out and, I don't know, make them feel uncomfortable. Like you've made me feel uncomfortable, which is, I'm totally fine with being uncomfortable because that's truly where you grow. And I definitely feel like I've done a lot of growth within this whole process. And I've learned a lot.
yeah,
And I'm not opposed to learning because I do think that it's good to learn. But treat everybody the same. That at the end of the day, like, and I don't know if it's because I'm an outsider coming into this small town and it's scary for them. And, this neighbor is like, oh my gosh, this young kid, this, this young kid's coming in and trying to run this like reckless business. Who knows what she's thinking, really, like,
Well, I mean, that's the thing I can like kind of see. It's like, you know who you are and you know what you do and you know how you run things, but nobody else does. And everybody else has their own preconceived like notions and conceptions of when they hear gym, which is not the same as what they hear when they hear esthetician. Like
yeah,
they're treating you different because it is different. I mean,
right.
it is. And I hate as much as you hate the feeling of being limited. And it's so hard to sit in a room and watch these people who like don't even know you and don't even care about the things you care about and probably need you decide like what you can and can't do. And I hate that also. But it reminds me a lot of like all the things that I went through when I was trying to buy that other gym. And
Mhm.
it's just like, business does not care. Like business doesn't care how
Yeah,
much you care. Business doesn't care how much you want it. Business doesn't care about your grand plans. Like business cares about like all the sharks in the water eating.
yeah.
And you have
And
to deal with other people's issues and like maybe they're unfounded because you know that you're not going to run a gym like an asshole. But at the same
well,
time,
and that's the thing too. It's like, I get your complaints, but don't you think you could have either one came and talked to me and been like, hey, I mean, this is, we're talking small town here. This is small town. Like, you had no problem coming over to see what I was doing
yeah,
when I was removing shit from that building.
yeah,
So you had no problem coming over and asking what we were removing. And when we were going to you had no problem being nosy about that. You could have easily said, because I was up front and said, I
yeah,
am a personal trainer, whatever. And you could have said like, hey, like, yeah, I have no problem with you doing this as long as it doesn't disrupt my yard. It doesn't, cool. And I would have been like, absolutely. If there is ever a problem, please let me know. I make sure that my clients will never, disrupt whatever. We will keep it because I'm not an asshole. And also, we live there. So we don't want
yeah,
we don't want to have mean neighbors and we don't want to piss off our neighbors. Like we all live there. We want to live and be happy. And it's small town. This is a small town.
yeah.
Everybody knows everybody. So I'm like, there could have been other ways to go about it. I understand, like, to me, this was more of um, like a big city type of thing. Like,
See, I feel like it's the opposite. Like in a big city, who cares? Like nobody cares that I'm running my gym out of like a residential place here because they have so much bigger fish to fry. Like,
to fry,
and that's
yeah.
another thing about this that I think is so cool for you. Like, you're the biggest fish they have to fry, dude. Like, how fucking cool. Like you're the fucking fish to fry. Like you,
Baby shark, do, do, do,
yeah.
do.
Mommy shark, dude.
Mommy shark.
It's a mommy shark up in here. But like for real, it's like you're causing the city to think about things that it has not thought about yet. and the way that they rule on your thing is going to be the way it goes for everyone, which is another reason why they can't be like, oh, well, Laura's cool, so she can have what she wants. Like,
Yeah.
what if in 5 years, like, somebody steals your fucking idea and opens a gym in Parowan, and like, now that's going to get handled a certain way because of the precedent you set. And like, maybe it's not always like the best case scenario for the person who pays the way, but somebody has to be first. Like,
Yeah. And I do see that, but it's like, it's just so frustrating when you're on the other end of
oh, I
it.
know
Like,
that. I know that.
just leave me alone. Like, if,
Yeah.
leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, it's like, you're right. She doesn't know me. Here's this kid coming in, building whatever, and they, you know, think I'm gonna play this rock music really loud in the CrossFit gym, and they don't know
Yeah.
anything about it. I think at one point in the meeting, one of the guys was like, should we take a field trip down there? And I wanted to be like, yes, everybody schedule your appointments, come see me, let me change your life, and then tell me what you think about my sessions. And we'll go from there, because I guarantee you, you'll leave and just have a different perspective. They just have no idea like the type of gym it really is. And that's fine, because they're older, and just it's different than like a gym. And then that's what she said too. She's like, well, you said fully equipped gym. And I'm like, yes, for everything that I would need to
Yeah.
train somebody, fully equipped. Like, what did you think was in there? Like, I don't know. So I see both sides, but it's just so annoying. So annoying.
It's
Like,
annoying, but it's yeah. But so ultimately, how do you feel about the ruling? Like, how do you feel about 2 cars, 4 clients? Like, we know you feel like the
um,
neighbor should put up the fence, but how do you feel about that part?
um, again, I don't like to be limited. I wish I didn't have a limit, because I mean, all the time we're having new ideas, and we would conform to like, I don't know, maybe I want to see how many people could hold hands in a circle and spin around in my garage. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be limited
But
to something.
for something like that, if you were gonna do like a big class, let's say you wanted to do like your big breathwork class, and like 12 people were interested in coming to this one class, couldn't that one class be like donation based, and that's just a gathering at your home, and you can
Yeah.
kind of like find a loophole that way?
Yeah, totally.
So okay, that's like a good, I love a loophole.
Yeah. And also like the owner of the other gym, Molly, she has a space, and I could be like, hey, could I rent your room for an hour,
Yeah.
and maybe you won't charge me an arm and a leg, and maybe this is something that I do weekly. I don't know. I don't know what her rates are, but like, I mean, absolutely, these ideas, there are things that I could possibly do down the road. Again, I just don't like to be limited. I don't like people telling me what to do,
Yeah.
which is
Same.
why we are our own business owners. But I guess at the end of the day, we have someone to answer to, else I would be playing rock music really loud, doing CrossFit, slamming weights, and pissing off my neighbor. But um, so I get the reason of 4 and 2. It's just sounds a little um like let's just say you come into town, Mo comes into town, you guys stay for a week. That's 2 cars on top of my clients that come. So now how are you going to know who's my client and who's my friend that's here? So now you're going to go and take a picture and report it. And now we're going to have to go back, and I'm going to have to be, it just seems like a lot of excess work that you
Yeah.
just brought on to yourself, but I'm prepared
Yeah.
to
And it
defend.
also might not be like, it might, like, none, like the same way that, they're worried about like what traffic could be and what music could be, like, maybe the
Yeah.
complaints won't be, and maybe it'll all kind of work out in the end. And like, because you are cool and not going to run the gym like an idiot, like, okay, you have these like stipulations or whatever, and like, you had to put up a wall.
It's maybe the most important tool that they can think of.
I mean, I think that, like, I don't know. I think it's like situation like that again is like, that would be so easy for you to be like, obviously this is not a violation. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
these are my house guests. These are my friends. These are my clients. Like, what are you going to come police my like
Yeah.
house
And
and make
she
my
will.
friends go home? Like,
She
no,
will.
you're not. This is Utah. It's God's acre. Get your gun out. Just start
She will,
shooting in
like,
the air.
I feel like she will, though, because she has nothing else to do. So it's going to turn into this.
We'll
Mark my
see.
words.
I mean, we'll see.
I'll let you guys know down the line how this goes. But yeah, I definitely see, um, And like you said, that's the small town of it, where it's like she has nothing else to do, so she's of course going to eagle eye my land and my property and make sure that I'm doing everything the way that they said. So, um, I actually, like, when I left, I was like happy to be out of there. Like I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, like it was just so much. Um, I think, like the 4 and 2, like fine, whatever. There's ways that I could figure out something. And if I do grow, like cool, like that would be great. Um, but it's also one of those things where it's like, this is why I want to do a small business, because I don't want to get bigger and have to rely on other people to
Yeah.
handle my business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we handle it ourselves. So like it's just annoying stuff like that. The wall is just top irritation of the whole thing. But
What did
whatever.
Kate say about it all?
Um he was not happy with it. He thought for he was definitely not happy with the wall.
Yeah.
Um well, because to be fair, and I don't want to put any ideas out there because maybe my other neighbor is watching. Um, if they're like, I don't like this, I don't like people walking through her back, I don't like seeing the people walk through her backyard, and now they're going to complain, and now we're going to put up a whole ass wall on the other side.
We're going to build the wall. We have no choice. We have no choice.
We're just giving
Yeah.
out free walls now. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it feels like. The
Yeah.
$3,000 wall that I have to put up, and then on the other side is way bigger than
Yeah.
that side. So now it's just like we're just giving out walls to run my business. Like I don't think so. Like that, again, if you don't like watching people be in my backyard, then you put up a wall. Or a fence, or come to me and be like, hey, can we split this? Can we
Yeah.
split this fence? And then let's talk. Okay, cool. Like, you want to split the fence? Why? Because I don't like watching the people walk through your backyard. Whatever. Then that's a different discussion. But I'm now having to pay for a wall that's going to benefit you. This doesn't benefit me in any way. I'm losing money, actually.
Yeah.
So he wasn't happy about that. Also, he kept saying like Utah is a keep cattle out instead of cattle in, or something like that.
What?
I guess Utah has like a law that's like keep cattle out of certain things instead of trying to keep them in. So basically, like Utah wants it to be open.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so putting up a fence is like,
Right. Yeah. That was something I always noticed, like when Valerie lived in Utah, and it'd be like, nobody has walls, nobody has fences, like the yards just go into each other's yards. Like,
yeah, that's
and
everybody
that's why,
here.
so I think it's sad that like these homeowners like want to put up a divider in an area that is supposed to be like nice and friendly and like all of that. But another lesson I've learned in business is you should never ever expect anybody to be nice and
Right.
friendly. Like they're
Well,
not
and
going to be.
also
They don't give a
like,
fuck about you.
um, as your neighbor though in this small town, and for somebody who is
Yeah.
never at their home, this is your vacation home. You now want me to watch your property or keep you updated on any events that happen on your property. Like, as far as, I mean, I'm not a dick, so I mean, we'll see. Maybe I am. But like, now, like, I'm supposed to be your friend after this? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I
Well,
mean? Like, I'm gonna put that fence up real quick and we ain't never gonna talk. Like,
yeah.
come
Yeah.
to
It's
me
sad.
at an elevated rate too. If you want me to fix your back.
Double time.
Yeah. Um, but like, and like I was trying to, like, I tried to explain to them, like, I have a kid, like, this is
Yeah.
not something that I'm trying to do all day, like spend
Right.
19 hours a day training people. Like, I do this for fun and because I love doing this. I have, a kid, and I want to be present for my kid, and this allows me to be home and still be there for my kid and my client.
Yeah, I didn't take any videos of that, but I remember that all being said. And I actually remember them like bringing that up again and being like, yeah, that's a good reason why you would not be at a gym. Like you have little kids and you're a mom and you're doing this with that too. So like that's legitimate.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, like, okay, yeah, good. Carry on business. Like,
Yeah.
we got it situated, and hopefully we don't have any freaking problems down the road, and it'll all work out. But um, it is, just, I just don't like being told to put up a wall. That is the main thing for me. Like, fine, put the regulations on the people and the cars, and like you said, it might not ever be an issue. And if I have people in town, like they'll definitely have to try to prove that I have clients and try to separate the two, whatever. That's on them because they could figure that out. But the wall is like, yeah,
Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall.
that's a lot of money. I'm losing money
Yeah.
on this wall. Like that I don't know. That's the major like thorn in all of this, where it's
Yeah.
just like, whatever. Like, I guess I have to if I want to like continue business.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like a way around it. I don't know.
Well, somebody said, I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to get them hate on the on the internet. But somebody was like, just put up a chain link fence and then put a tarp over it so they can't, because it was like they can't see through the like fence,
Yeah.
and just like do that. But here's the thing, we're middle of winter. So you want me to go out
Yeah.
and build a wall in the middle of winter? The ground's frozen. Like it was
Yeah.
-1 degrees the other day. Like it's just a whole thing. So yeah.
They are coming out, right? They're coming out the to see
Yeah,
it.
they
Like,
have to. Yeah.
yeah. So that's the next step. Are they gonna like let you know, or is that something they just do on their own?
Well, it's locked, so they probably
Oh,
have
you
to
mean
let
like
me
in
know.
okay, yeah. Like they have to come
Yeah,
into it, yeah.
they probably have to like let me know when they're going to do it. And um that's the other thing with like small towns, that shit takes forever.
Yeah.
So we'll see how long this whole process takes.
Maybe the ground will be unfrozen by the time
Uh
they get around to it.
yeah, we'll see. But
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is another one of those same kind of moments where it's like when we got our cease and desist letters from the gym we used to work at. And it's like, sometimes people just want to be barriers between you and your bag.
and
But
it's like I said, like I'm not opposed to growing and being
yeah,
uncomfortable, and it's definitely uncomfortable and unknown in a lot of ways, because like I said, I had to go to this town hall meeting that I've never been to one. um but I really was trying to look at the positive, and the amount of people that showed up, and
totally.
not all of them spoke at this thing, but the amount of people that showed up, I literally it makes me like emotional, because I started something and I didn't have like one client,
Yeah.
like I didn't have anybody. And so to go up there and speak and then turn around and walk back and see 10 people staring back at you that are like cheering for you and on your side, that it's like, and I haven't been doing it that long here. So
Yeah.
like it was a really cool feeling, and I am
So
very,
cool.
very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And that community, and that's something that like Icebox always has, is just this like badass community, like
Yeah.
wherever, anywhere. It's just like this community, and they always show up. Like they always show up for anything.
Yeah.
Um,
So cool.
it's
I
really
know. I
cool.
was like, I had chills watching everybody like there on your side. And like you could just feel like that good energy. And when you have that type of good energy, you're not going to fail. You're just not. And they all
Yeah,
love
and
you so much.
it's like you just like I know that I'm doing something right. Like I know that I'm like changing these people's lives, and it's like, come on, like just get on board with something good that these people need. Like I wish I could see everybody in this town. Like I would, yeah, I wish I could have 30 people in a day. Like that would be great, but also I'd be really tired, so I don't know. But like that would be really, to grow that much, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Like um and also like I see their point. Like maybe I am that cool and maybe I will grow that much, and now they're really
Totally.
concerned with
Yes.
like,
100%.
so I do see that, but it's like, just let me do my thing. And if
Oh, I
that
know
happens, like,
I know yeah, I don't like not being able to do what I want
yeah,
either.
yeah.
But this is one of the good things. I mean, like one of the best things that I've learned in business and like reminded me so much of it, like watching this whole thing, is just how much that like business does not care about you, and like getting like being forced, having somebody else's perspective that is so not yours forced down your throat by
Yeah,
business is a really good thing for people. It's very humbling, and it makes you more open-minded, and it keeps you like really logical in the future, because you are so practiced at working on putting your emotion aside, no matter how intense, which is really intense
yeah,
because we care so much about this. Like it's everything. Like So it's really difficult to do that, but that's what this is. And you did awesome. And to have a fucking crew like that behind you while you do it is like the best possible scenario.
Yeah.
And you looked
Dennis
hot.
couldn't even be there. Yeah.
She
See,
was
I'm telling
serving
you,
a
she's like,
look.
oh, this 20-year-old coming in
This,
here trying
this
to
hot
help.
young stallion.
She's probably actually running a brothel, actually. Who knows what's really going on in that gym? Like,
Yeah.
you see the steam coming from their bodies when they leave.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, and also just to hear, like, to have like video footage of the people whose lives you changed going up to a podium and stating what is better about their lives because of you. Wow. That's the fucking
yeah.
coolest.
When I tell you, I was like teary-eyed because it was
I
like I
know.
did not even expect anybody. I knew Cade was going to get up because Cade is Cade, and Cade knows so much crap that like I knew he was going to speak. And I knew he would help. He was sitting right behind me, so I knew like he would help me, like if I needed anything
Yeah.
or whatever. He's very
Yeah.
sound-minded like that, and I'm so grateful for him. Like I was like, I don't even know how to repay him for for being my lawyer, actually. But like just to like I knew he was gonna do it, and then when the other two got up, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool that I have these people that think this of me and that I've changed their lives. And
And that you're making, I mean, it is annoying. It's like a double-edged sword, but on the other hand, like the fact that you're gonna make such a big impact and already have, like, dude, I think that's badass. Like you started this whole podcast by saying that like when you filed for your business license, you wanted to like make a name, and look at how much you've already done that. Like,
it was
so
funny because they kept
sick.
saying they were at the end. Did you watch all the way to the end?
I don't know.
When she was like, she's like, okay, so if you guys, everybody that is here to support Laura and like ICEBOX training or whatever, if they want to stay for the next or if they want to run, and then everybody like got up. I was dying. I was
Oh
like,
my
oh my
gosh, I
God.
didn't see that
Now
part.
this room is completely empty except for the Miss Allen, who probably didn't want to leave because she probably thought we were gonna jump her outside. I don't know. I do feel bad for her though, because she's concerned as a neighbor, and I'm sure as a business owner owning commercial space. But like I said, she could have handled it. So she could have, my number was on that card. She could have called me and been like, hey, I realize you're starting this small business. Like, if you want to go check out, just go look at my space. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it won't. Like, let's just go look at it.
Yeah.
Or even like, if you do end up growing, here's an option for you.
Yeah. But really
Sure.
most people don't think like that. People have like a scarcity mindset
Yeah.
where they need to preserve what's theirs because there's not going to be enough for everybody. And then the opposite side of that is a growth mindset where you know that there's plenty for everyone as long as you are creative and smart and adaptable.
Yeah.
And it's not really that surprising that like an old lady in a small town might be feeling kind of like, after COVID, and like her livelihood, the thing she's poured everything into is like rotting away with dust bunnies, while businesses with giant classes are doing it in homes. Like she's just looking
Yeah.
out for her bag in her way. Like it's sad,
Yeah.
and she could have been way cooler, and we have a lot of experience with people who like could have been way cooler.
Yeah.
But
And that's the thing. Like, just like, and I'm all about like a face to face. Like, you had, like I said, you had no problem coming over. She doesn't even live next to me.
yeah,
She lives on the next street. But you still had no problem coming over in the summertime when we were
yeah,
moving crap out, just to be nosy and be like, what's going on over here? Like, you had no problem coming and seeing all that.
yeah,
So you could have easily said, hey, I have this commercial space. I have this, I have that. Maybe you should come check it out one day. I probably would have. I
yeah,
probably would have went to
yeah,
look just to see and been like, okay, like this is a cool option. Like, let me see. I'm just starting out. I literally had zero. My mom as a client, I wouldn't even count her because
yeah. Shit, I don't know.
she's hit or miss. Um, but I had like zero clients. And so to make a commitment in a like a whole commercial space like that is a big, scary
Totally,
commitment.
totally.
So I would have easily told her like, okay, let me try to grow and get some clientele, and then we'll see where this takes us. But I'm not ruling you out by any means. Like, I definitely want to keep you as an option. but instead of talking to me, you went and filed this whole complaint. And she like printed out like my Facebook post that I had posted and was like, she's running classes and she has a fully equipped gym, which I'm also like, so if it's my home gym too, like, yeah, I would want it fully equipped for my damn self. Like,
But again, like this, you think this lady's ever been to a gym? Like she here's fully equipped. She has no, all
yeah,
she knows is her stereotype, which is probably a bunch of fucking buff dudes like clanging and banging in Gold's Gym. Like she
yeah,
just, it's the same. She doesn't know what she doesn't know. She really doesn't know. And she
yeah,
obviously isn't the type of like, we, a good moral of the story is like people just go up to people and like try to collaborate and like try to work together and
yes.
like be fucking nice. Like that's a good takeaway from this, but that's not what happened.
But and that's the thing too. Like, and I feel like you are very much that way. Like, if we have a problem, we're gonna come and say like, hey, like this is
Yeah.
going on. But I did when I spoke with the city manager, Dan, he said that this happens 9 times out of 10. They'll get a complaint. Somebody will write in about their neighbor. My neighbor is doing this, blah, blah, blah. And they'll tell them, well, have you talked to your neighbor? No, I want you to do it. It's like they're scared of the
Yeah.
conflict, but also like let's figure it out. Like, I
Yeah.
get there are the dick people out there that don't want to figure it out and don't want to make it work, but you
Well,
don't
and it's
know
kind of
that until you
scary. And I think
try.
that like you have to be willing to be a certain level of like vulnerable and like collaborative if you are going to be big enough to go up to somebody and say, hey, let's find an answer to this. And I just feel like people don't have the balls. Like,
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. That she wanted to hide behind her letter that she wrote in, and then she wanted to use the planning board, planning
yeah,
and zoning board to shut me
do
down.
her dirty work.
Exactly. And basically like bully me in a way, if you want to use that word, because everybody loves to use bully me in a way of not carrying on my business. And in turn, they put stipulations and these contingencies on my business, which is fine. But I still get to operate. So
Yeah.
yes, I am allowed to have a home business, lady.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm
Have
allowed to have
several
a home.
seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mic
Yeah.
drop, but yeah.
Well, and the other moral of this before we move on and go on to hot takes is just that like ICEBOX North is like literally writing Utah law right now. So like in 10 years, people are going to find this dusty podcast episode and be like, wow, this is where it all started. Like ICEBOX
In
strength
10 years, I'm going to
custody
bring up
of
this dusty
marijuana.
podcast and I'm going to be like, remember that even in a year, I think a year will be really cool too, to like see
Yeah.
the evolution of everything. I mean, I just think about last year, I had no gym.
Yeah.
I
And
had
now you're
0
getting a second Echo bike.
I'm not getting it. But I said if I wanted to get something, if I had the money to get something, because now I got to put up a fence. So
Build that wall.
I ain't getting bike. But if anybody wants to donate an Echo bike,
Okay, maybe we
I'm
could
the
get you
gal.
sponsored.
That'd be great. I mean, make time and suffering for putting up this fence.
Wall.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing your amazing story about yet another wave that you've made, Laura. Fabulous.
God, I'm tired of
Do you have
waves.
any hot takes?
Let me think.
We can start. I
Oh,
have a good one. Oh, okay, what's
okay,
yours?
go. Yeah,
No,
no, I
what's
don't have
yours?
any. I don't
Oh,
have any.
okay. I was gonna say, I'm kind of back to thinking that maybe Brittany isn't in charge. She is like kind of being real, like maybe it is her on her Instagram. I'm like kind of back to that. The pendulum has swung for me back to believing that this is really Brittany
It's
talking
her.
to us.
I think she's
And
lost it a little bit.
you think she's lost it?
Yeah, like she's a little crazy now. Like,
I think she's the same. I think she's the same level of crazy. And I went on my Instagram rant about this the other day. Alyssa Milano was like, somebody go check on her. You know what? That is bullying. And Alyssa Milano, who? Like, who
yeah.
gives a fuck about Alyssa
Somebody
Milano?
go check on who Alyssa Milano is. Like Google right now who this
That
was
would
she
have been
on
the perfect
Charmed?
tweet response, dude. Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
funny.
I wish I had Twitter, but I don't.
But
I
here's
don't
the
know.
thing about Brittany, because like all she pretty much does, besides like her post where she like posts like some random picture and writes a story in the caption, is post videos of her dancing, period. And there's nothing more that I want from Brittany than to watch her express herself through dance. That's like,
Dance, yeah.
that's the greatest gift. It's so pure. It's such a pure human expression. This poor woman has been through actual literal hell, exploitation and violation on a level that none of us could ever even actually understand or empathize with, because it was so extreme.
Yeah.
Gave us iconic moment and style after iconic moment and style. And if all she wants to do is dance in her room, and that's the way she's expressing herself, we are lucky to be seeing
Okay,
it.
but how did she get a gap?
I mean, it was probably like veneers or something. And then like that stuff don't you have to like get that taken care of like regularly?
Veneers go on top of your tooth, so
But don't they shave your like tooth down to like a little
yeah.
thing or something?
Mhm,
So like
mhm.
if she had veneers there and then like the veneers haven't been touched up in 10 years, or I don't know how veneers work. I mean, like maybe you don't get them touched up. I don't know. I just have my fucking crooked teeth. Okay. So I don't know what it's like for
I have a
people.
gap and I've lived with my gap forever, but that's why I was wondering, because I'm like, she didn't have a gap before and now she has like some weird shaped teeth, and like that's a little weird to me. And I went down a whole rabbit hole about how that is like Britney's like double
Her like
with the teeth.
fake
Yeah.
body. What?
hmm
And
But
she's dead?
I had to, I don't know if she's dead or if she's in like a mental home, or if like she's not out of her conservatorship. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's,
Yeah.
um, I don't know, but the whole teeth thing is like, cause you can't fake teeth. Like
Yeah.
as much as you would like to try to fake teeth, you cannot. Like she now
Yeah.
has a gap. And to me, that was like big, like that's not her teeth. Like,
Yeah.
so that is the only thing that
Okay, so
really
I'll have
gets
to
me.
look into the teeth. I'll have to get a good alibi for the teeth. I'll have to look into that because
Yeah.
I don't really know much about that. I just kind of accepted her gap.
My hot take is that freaking Jeffree Star needs to just tell us who this guy is.
That's how then she'll stop getting all of her publicity.
Maybe she'll get more. I would be, I keep, I would be interested to see. And also I would be really cool to see what NFL guy this is
Oh,
to give. I mean, I know like they had what's his name come out as gay, and like they've had people like come out as gay in the past or whatever. Um, but it would just be cool to see this happen openly. And I also know, just as a human being, my own self, if I had to live in secret and live in the
yeah.
dark is not, I mean, you want to live your life. Like I'm sure them having to hide is probably some point going to get old, right? Like
Yeah.
just
I wonder how
tell
long they've been
us.
together.
That's the other thing too. Maybe it's like new and they don't want to like
Yeah.
spill the beans yet.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, we're dating. And then they're like broken up in a month.
And then they don't want to like completely, but I've seen
Deal with
so
all
many
that.
TikToks like
I
of
know.
these like black NFL guys, and they're like, just say like that it's you, and they like turn around, the hair's all like the ears are like they're black.
Yeah, dude. And even Jeffree Star is reposting them. They're so funny.
I know. I'm here for it. And I'm also here for Jeffree Star coming back as a makeup critic and like doing his thing, her thing. I used to dude, we talked about this. MySpace days. MySpace scared the fuck out of me, but I was a fan.
Yep.
I wish they would have just left MySpace stuck in time,
I know. Like a
because
time capsule.
it was stuck for like a while,
I
for like
know.
10 years, and maybe not 10 years, like 5 years after
I know. They
MySpace
should
was
have
like,
just left it. There's
I
just
know.
gold on MySpace.
I don't even know my login anymore
No,
for
me either.
MySpace. I don't even think I could get in, but I would have loved to, because I'm sure there's some good
Oh my
stuff.
God. I
Tom
can
on
imagine.
MySpace. But yeah, that's all. That's all. I do think we need to figure out this teeth business for Brittany.
Okay, I'm gonna
And
research
then like you
this.
said, if she is dancing it up and doing her thing, like go Brittany. I'm here for that too. Go ahead, Brittany, do your
And
thing.
she looks like, even with her, like, I don't know, like teeth or whatever, like kind of busted, and like her tracks sometimes, and like her like little outfit, she is still the hottest, realest,
She's my age, I think. Isn't she? She's 30.
something like that, maybe slightly older.
I think she might be a year older than me. So she might be, I mean, 21. We're 21.
I don't know for sure what her age is, but
But for being that and a mom of what,
yeah, and
two,
having
three?
been through everything she's been through, like, I don't know, she looks real. She looks like a real person, and she looks better than these filled up filler ass bitches. Don't get me started. Ew, cringe
Um,
as fuck. Oh, and here's another hot take, and this is I'm annoyed right now. You know who we should be bullying? You know who actually looks like shit is Selena Gomez. She looks like fucking shit.
I actually haven't seen her in a while, but I
She
was a big
looks
fan.
bad. She looks
I
bad.
was.
She's into satanic shit. Puffy ass face. She looks like she's on drugs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a lot to
She
say
has
about it. She's annoying
lupus.
me.
She has
Yeah, okay,
lupus.
whatever. She doesn't look sick. She look bad. Fuck. I know I'm an asshole, but
Satanic.
dude, I'm annoyed. We should be bullying her more. Why is everybody at Britney's
Yeah.
ass when Selena's walking around like that?
And I used to follow her a lot. You know what's so really crazy is that I have been so busy and so consumed with like all this like business license stuff that like I have barely been on any social media. And like I had get like somebody was asking me, "Oh, have you seen this the Kardashians?" And I was like, "No." First of all, I stopped following them when like the whole like Balenciaga thing happened.
Yeah.
I think it was Air. Kylie like
Oh,
announced her
yeah.
son's name Air or whatever. Like, have you seen this video she did or whatever? And I was like, no, like I haven't been following that whole trend and
Yeah.
whatever. And then it's like, what else have I missed though? Because unless somebody tells me, like, then I was like, well, I have been off social media and like typically I go on TikTok, but my TikTok is full of like murder, crime, mystery shit.
Yeah.
And then I go on Instagram and Instagram does like the algorithm of like, oh, fitness posts. And now I only see like fitness stuff, but I'm like, well, what's going on in the like celeb world? Now I have to like find Britney's page. So like she'll pop up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So like I'm really, really, really out of it. And the only reason why I know Jeffree Star is because not the only reason, but Jeffree's that whole thing was like popping up on my page because of the girl from TikTok with did you watch that? I forgot her name.
Oh, the makeup girl?
That like
Yeah.
they think that she like lied about the
Yeah.
mascara thing or whatever. And so Jeffree Star like came out and said like I had never got paid to do one
Yeah.
review and like whatever. And so that's now why Jeffree Star keeps like popping up on my TikTok. Um,
Oh, okay.
but like aside from those things, I have no idea what's going on in the world right now. Well, like celeb wise, because
There are
there's
some
just
good
a lot.
things. They found a balloon from China floating over Montana this morning. Yep, a Chinese spy balloon floating over Montana this morning. They did not choose to shoot it down, even though they had guns on it. So nobody knows why. That happened this morning. Did you see the guy from Pfizer, the director of Pfizer, got like hidden camera like set up? This guy was like on a date with him, but he was like from this thing, Project Veritas, and he was like mic'd up recording him saying shit that Pfizer is intentionally mutating the virus so that they can preemptively make a vaccine for it.
I believe it. I
Oh,
didn't
of
need that guy to go
course.
on, but I believe it.
Of course.
I believe
And
it.
then the hidden camera people confronted the guy like with the footage and he freaked out and was like assaulting them all. Yeah. Really good.
Okay, so you were just sick recently. Do you
Yeah.
think it was like a COVID or like a
I don't know because I never got tested and I don't know
yeah.
if I even would trust a test if I took it. I mean, maybe I
Do you
should, but
think did you feel sick?
the thing that I felt and that I'm still even dealing with a little bit is just like an overwhelming exhaustion. Like I was sick. I still managed to do all the things that I had to do, like to get through life or whatever. It was like bad in my chest. I still have like chest congestion. It was bad in my head, like pressure, headaches, but like exhausted on a level that like I
Yeah.
could not function.
Yeah. Well, you
I
said
don't
you
know.
like fell asleep in your car, in the parking lot, like
Yeah.
which is that's you're tired. That is tired.
Yeah.
The only reason why I ask is because somebody had said I just was sick and it felt a lot like COVID when they had COVID. And so they're like, I wonder if I got COVID again, but they weren't going to get tested or whatever.
Yeah.
But she said the same thing. She was like, I was so tired. She's like, I literally slept for like 24 hours. Like, thank God my husband watched the kids because I could
Yeah.
not function.
Yeah.
She's like, I was just so tired. Like I could not get enough sleep.
Yeah.
And you know, so I had COVID and H1N1, influenza
Ooh,
A, actually.
that was before
Month
pandemics were cool.
but I had them a month apart. I had COVID and then I had like
Oh, that's
maybe it was like a
right.
month and a half. Yeah.
That's right.
And the flu knocked my ass out.
Yeah.
Knocked my ass out. Like I could
Who's
see how
that?
this is yeah, I could see how this could take out like an elderly, unhealthy person. Um, but partly reason why it knocked me out is because I'm still a mom and I still had to take care of my child who was also sick with it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't, like, when you're sick, you could rest and like try to like take time off, whatever. I couldn't take any time off. So it felt like what would have taken like 3 days to recover of the
Yeah.
flu and being sick or COVID or whatever now took 5 days because I wasn't sleeping enough. I was taking care of my kid or whatever. So, but the flu felt 10 times worse than COVID.
Yeah.
Bad. Like I was like, oh man, if I had a choice, I'd give me COVID again. Like,
Was that like fever, body aches, sick to your
oh,
stomach?
yep. And I, headache, headache,
Yeah. I've heard
congestion.
but yeah.
And when I had COVID, the only thing I did get with COVID that lasted was like vertigo. It was like real like dizzy and off
Mhm.
balance with COVID. But with COVID, it was weird because I felt like I would feel fine. And then I would go and like clean the house or something. And then it was like, now
Yeah.
you're sick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but I would be like, oh shit, like now I feel sick. Whereas like the flu, I could not. I was like, I'm just gonna watch, like I have to like watch Aria, but she was sick
Yeah.
too. So it was like we're just like slumped up together and I'm getting her fluids and like trying to keep her hydrated and whatever. But man, I'm not surprised that they're trying to mutate this thing to get another vaccine going. Like, but
Yeah.
also like I don't know. Aria and I survived it and
Exactly.
we're healthy and we just keep pushing. And to me, like I always tell some of my clients are like, I don't want to get sick. And it's like, no, nobody wants to, nobody's like, give me the COVID. Like, give me
Yeah.
the vid. I want to feel sick. Like nobody says that, maybe to lose a couple pounds. Cause I did lose a lot of weight
Stop.
when I was sick, but it came all right back as soon as I started eating again. But I always tell them like, nobody wants to get sick, but it's like the same thing with life. Like, right. Like life is like this, like, and you just bounce back and you just
Yeah.
get back on track and it's just like, okay, just keep going and
Yeah.
you're
One
healthy
thing
and
about being sick, I feel like that has been tough besides like not working out because I know I love to not work out, but I love to work out. And like I don't like not working out for a whole week and like feeling weak and feeling not like strong like I want to. And the other thing about that too is when I'm not working out, I drink way less water.
less
Like,
water. Yep. Oh,
and that's
you
not good
nailed
when you're
it.
sick. Like,
You nailed it. It's so
yeah,
true because you're just not as thirsty. Like,
yeah,
it's so true. And when, like you said, when you're sick, that is not the move.
yeah. You need to
You
be
need to
drinking
drink.
lots of fluids. And so like to not
Yeah.
have the energy to work out and then like not be drinking because I'm if that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah. But you're right, dude. Coming back after being sick is like, to feel weak like that is
Yeah.
not fun. Ugh.
And then like if you don't do workouts for long enough, like your body will start to like ache and creak a little. Like I'll be like, ugh, my shoulders like don't feel like good like they usually do, and like my chest just feels
Yeah.
like all compressed because I've been like all sad and sick,
Hmm.
like.
Sad. Sad and sick. Now I'm hunchback because now.
Anyway, okay, well that was probably a pretty good length
Yeah.
there. That's enough hot takes for one day. But stay tuned because the next episode is going to be exciting. The whole episode is a hot topic next time. So
Yeah.
stay tuned. And do we have any announcements?
Um, Nutrition challenge is almost over. We're like halfway.
Yep.
So we'll be doing another one, guys. I mean, it's been pretty good and popping lately. So,
Yeah, they're definitely
um,
losing weight. All of them are losing weight. So,
yeah, it's really cool to see that too. I love
oh
that
yeah.
that we could see their progress, but another one will be happening, so stay tuned. I don't know if we have any other announcements.
No, I think that's it for now. Just keep an eye out for the cool new merch.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
I
can't
guess
believe you
that's
did
it.
that for your 10 seconds.
I know I saved it. It got here yesterday.
I was wondering too. I was like, I wonder if that ever arrived, but
Yeah, they're really cool.
mind.
Yeah, you've had things on your mind. All right.
Okay,
Well, we
well,
love you guys, and you're not hungry. You're bored.
close.